From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8 Podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update.
Hi, this is Hannah Mordeau, and this is your News 8 Daily for Friday, November 8th. You may notice it's a little bit chilly outside this morning. We're starting out in the 30s, a bit more seasonable out there. Sunshine to start your Friday morning, though. Be aware, though, we're going to get some rain this weekend.
Credit Karma is your evolved financial assistant, making managing your finances simpler and more tailored to you. Join us at creditkarma.com to start your personalized financial journey today and continue to grow with our innovations. Credit Karma. Evolve your finances.
Explaining football to the friend who's just there for the nachos? Hard. Tailgating from home like a pro with snacks and drinks everyone will love? An easy win. And with Instacart helping deliver the snack time MVPs to your door, you're ready for the game in as fast as 30 minutes. So you never miss a play or lose your seat on the couch or have to go head-to-head for the last chicken wing. Shop Game Day Faves on Instacart and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 grocery orders. Offer valid for a limited time. Other fees and terms apply.
The jury in the Delphi murders trial resumes deliberations this morning. The verdict, whatever it is, will be a powerful moment in a process that started 7.5 years ago with the deaths of Libby German and Abby Williams. Jurors got the case yesterday. News 8's Colin Bailey is outside the Carroll County Courthouse this morning with what's set to happen today.
There are 15 jurors in the room, the 12 who will decide whether suspect Richard Allen is guilty of killing Abby Williams and Libby German, along with the 3 alternates. And this case started back on October 18th and went to the jury earlier than the schedule laid out by Judge Fran Gall. During her instructions to the jury, the judge said that there are no transcripts of witness testimony and there is no other evidence that was not admitted in court. The judge told the jury yesterday that if they are left with 2 interpretations, they must choose one that sides with innocence. News 8's Phil Sanchez spoke to a legal expert about what we can expect during the jury deliberations. He says the judge will likely do all she can to get a unanimous verdict of guilty or not guilty.
It is very difficult for a judge to want to basically say that there's a hung jury, and so they will try to make the jury go back in. But if this goes on for 3, 4, 5 days and a jury says we can't come to an agreement, then the judge is going to have to find that there is a hung jury and then release the jury and set this for another trial date.
Judge Gold told the jury they should not come to a decision, quote, beyond all possible doubt, only beyond a, quote, reasonable doubt. Again, those deliberations are expected to start at 9 o'clock. It's a little after 9 right now, so we expect that to be underway here shortly. We'll have teams out here all morning and all day long to bring you any new information updates that we have. But for now, outside of the Carroll County Courthouse, I'm Colin Bailey for Wish TV, wishtv.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
IT-mate Skylar Russell has been in the courtroom for the entire trial. She shows us what jurors heard in the closing moments from prosecutors and the defense team.
After 18 long days at 1:25, the jury stood straight up and gathered evidence from 3 weeks of testimony. They left the courtroom. The next time they walk back inside, it may be to deliver a verdict. The day started with 58 minutes of closing arguments from Carroll County prosecutor Nick McClelland, the man trying to convince jurors that Richard Allen murdered Abby and Libby. The prosecution focused on 3 main things: bridge guy, an unspent bullet, and Allen's reported confessions while in prison. McClelland again showed the jury an audio-enhanced bridge guy video taken by Libby moments before the girls died. Bridge guy orders the girls down the hill, and Libby said that'd be a gun. He reminded the jury of the many witnesses who say they saw bridge guy that day. The state again laid out their timeline, leading to Allen's arrest, and noted what they call incriminating items found inside Allen's home just before his arrest in 2022, 5.5 years after the deaths. Inside the house, McClelland said they found a bridge guy starter kit, complete with a handgun they say matched an unspent round found between the girls. Allen's prison confessions are another linchpin in their argument. He played the calls again, noting when Allen told his wife, "I did it. Just know I did it." He also told the jurors Libby once said she wanted to help the police solve crimes. That's exactly what she did. Defense attorney Brad Rosie also acknowledged the loss. He said Richard Allen's life was ruined too. He showed the jury graphic photos of Allen inside of Westville, covered in feces, and pictures of medieval torture tools. He told the jury if they convict Allen, they would be endorsing that behavior. He said the defense's case for his innocence was easy to make, as it centered on the state's clumsy investigation. Time and time again, Rosie said Allen's defense team had to do the job of investigators. The defense cited missing interviews, a years-long delay in DNA testing, changing timelines, and shoddy firearm toolkit science as reasons the investigation fell short. He again noted there is no DNA evidence or digital evidence to tie Richard Allen to the scene, and he ended with a clear message to the jury: you must find Allen innocent. The jury will begin deliberating at 9 a.m. and will go until 4 p.m. unless they tell the bailiff they need longer. Now, those alternate jurors will be inside the room but will not participate in deliberations. Reporting here in Delphi, I'm Kyla Russell for Wish TV. WishTV.com, or follow us on Facebook for updates.
As soon as a verdict is in, we will tell you immediately on Wish TV and on WishTV.com. State police say a person is dead after a fiery semi-crash in Indianapolis on I-65 northbound near the North Split. Crash is finally clear after hours of closing the interstate. It happened at around midnight. State police have not said what may have caused the wreck or how many people or vehicles are involved, but our crews at the scene could see at least one car and then the semi on fire. We now know Al McGee is the man under arrest after a nearly 6-hour SWAT standoff on the east side. We first told you about this story on Daybreak yesterday. Investigators tell us that at around 10 Wednesday night, a woman called saying she was being held at gunpoint by a man at a home on Gladstone Avenue near Brookville Road. Police say they found the woman outside. She told them McGee was still in the home and refusing to leave. IMPD says a SWAT unit tried to go into the home, but McGee fired shots at officers. No one was injured. After hours of negotiation, police arrested McGee. He now faces several preliminary charges, including intimidation with a deadly weapon. A new study says Indiana's economy is on a strong, sustainable path heading into 2025. The report from IU's Kelley School of Business finds a drop in interest rates and the prospect of more helps manufacturing. The study also says Indiana's relatively low cost of living is boosting consumer spending. The economist we spoke with says politics played little role in the research.
When you look at the history of economic performance in the United States, there is really no statistically significant difference in who is in office. So when we build our economic forecasting models, it's really independent of who's going to win or lose an election.
The Kelley School plans to release a more detailed economic outlook for 2025 next month.
Setbacks are unavoidable, but giving up is unforgivable. Campaigns are contests of competing visions. The country chooses one or the other. We accept the choice the country made.
President Biden speaks to the nation about this week's election results. Biden promised a peaceful transfer of power, emphasized the importance of integrity in the electoral system, and that he has invited President-elect Donald Trump to the White House. Trump's new administration will have the first woman as a White House chief of staff. Yesterday, Trump announced that Susie Wiles will serve in that role. Wiles was co-chair of Trump's presidential campaign. She's been in charge of Trump's political operations for the last 4 years. This is the first of several expected announcements from Trump about his incoming administration. In Colts Watch, the team needs to kickstart the offense this Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. Last week, only the defense scored as the team lost to the Vikings. Joe Flacco took over as quarterback in that game. The Bills are known for scoring a lot, but Flacco says his offense can't overthink what the Bills' offense is doing.
If you start thinking like that and you start trying to do too much, you start trying to look for things that aren't there, that's not for players to worry about. The players just have to go out there and play for each other, have trust in each other that we're all going to do our jobs.
The Colts and the Bills kick off Sunday at 1 o'clock. A stunner in Bloomington for the IU women. Harvard beat the Hoosiers 72-68 in overtime last night. The Crimson outscored the Cream and Crimson 9-5 in extra frame. IU is number 25 in the national polls for now. They are back in action next Wednesday for an in-state matchup with Butler at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Indianapolis is, for the first time, hosting the World Food Championship. You can catch the world's best chefs in action at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. News 8's Hernan Gutierrez brought one into our kitchen studio this morning.
There's going to be about 1,200 chefs over at the State Fairgrounds. That includes Preston Wynn. He is the 2021 World Food Champion, so he's all familiar with the competition. Preston, tell us a little bit. You're plating something that you've already made. Remind us what you made for us, and then tell us a little bit about the competition itself.
Yeah, right here is a nice wild mushroom saute, a little bit of a garlic butter, some herbs, really just making it bright and fresh. And with the competition, there's chefs from literally all over the world, ranging from here in America to Japan to Europe, literally everywhere. And you have to kind of go through this elimination style process to really get up to the top. So there's golden ticket opportunities to just even qualify for the event. And then here in Indy, we are doing the opening round.
So tell me a little bit, there's about a dozen different categories that these chefs can compete in. What category are you competing in? And tell me a little bit more about your cooking style.
Yeah, I'm competing in the chef category. And so this is kind of like executive chefs or professional chefs that are really trying to push the bounds of what they're doing with their food. And my cooking style really relies on my heritage. I'm half Vietnamese and half Mexican, but I was raised in Texas. So I love a lot of open, fiery flavors, but also trying to bring that youthful take on things. So a lot of molecular gastronomy and just new flavors.
And what keeps you coming back to compete in this competition? You started competing since you were 18. That year that you won, you were the first or the youngest person to win the World Food Championship. So tell me a little bit about what brings you back every year.
Yeah, what brings me back is really just the fresh take that all these chefs bring to the table. Even if it's just one new technique that I get to see from another fellow chef. Like I always love to learn, and there's no other high like competition, like the adrenaline and the rush. Just seeing the clock ticking down, you're moving as fast as you can to really just bring the best to the plate.
All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here. I'm gonna take a bite if that's all right.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Thank you.
Try not to talk with my mouth full. Very bright. It's always amazing to me how something so simple can be so tasty. If you're looking to check out the World Food Championships, they'll be at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, the Fall Creek Pavilion there through Tuesday. Everything kicks off tomorrow at 9 in the morning.
Wish TV is proud to once again team up with the Moselle Sanders Foundation for the annual Moselle Sanders Thanksgiving Dinner. Last year, we raised more than $135,000 to help serve more than 10,000 people. If you want to donate, you can text Moselle to 5355. A $20 donation can serve a family of 4. Officials in South Carolina are searching for dozens of monkeys that escaped from a research facility. Authorities say 43 female monkeys are on the loose, but they're not dangerous and they're disease-free. The monkeys escaped on Wednesday night. The Alpha Genesis facility says a new employee didn't fully shut an enclosure. Researchers say that these monkeys like to stay in groups. Now teams are trying to track them down using traps and thermal imaging, but this isn't the first time the monkeys have escaped this facility. Officials say some got out a few years ago, but were brought back safely in less than a day. 3 people are now charged in the death of star singer Liam Payne. Payne fell to his death from the balcony of his hotel room last month in Argentina. Prosecutors say the 3 suspects are charged with abandonment of a person followed by death and supplying and facilitating the use of narcotics. Investigators say Payne had alcohol, cocaine, and a prescribed antidepressant in his system.
Welcome. You've got mail. Files done. Goodbye.
The man behind AOL's memorable welcome message has died. Elwood Edwards was the iconic voice so many of us remember. He recorded those phrases, "Welcome, you've got mail, files done, and goodbye," more than 30 years ago, and told reporters that he only received $200 for the job because his wife worked for AOL. Since then, those lines have been heard by millions of people. Edwards also worked behind the scenes for WKYC TV in Cleveland for almost 50 years. The TV station says he died after a long illness. Edwards was 74 years old. This has been your News 8 Daily from Wish TV. I'm Hannah Mordeau. Watch us on wishtv.com and follow us on Facebook for updates.
Whether you're scouring business financial sites or listening to economics podcasts like this one till your ears ring, you'll find there's no surefire secret to successfully managing your company's finances for the future. It turns out you might just need to pair with PNC Corporate and Institutional Banking, whose team of dedicated relationship managers bring 160 years of experience, pragmatic advice, and an array of tools and tech to scale to any size business. In fact, they're so tuned in to what you need, they knew you'd be listening to this podcast. As for that ringing in your ears, that's the brilliant sound of success. PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC and PNC Bank are registered marks of the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., PNC. Copyright 2024, the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
Are you looking for stories of business innovation and resilience? Right now, you can tune into the Wondery podcast, How I Built This, to catch bonus episodes sponsored by Klaviyo. These episodes explore the journeys of up-and-coming entrepreneurial phenoms like Fishwife, diving deep into some of the practical challenges businesses face. With the insight of some special guests, you won't want to miss this. So, are you ready to get inspired? Check out How I Built This, sponsored by Klaviyo, wherever you get your podcasts. And make every moment count with Klaviyo. Learn more at klaviyo.com/BFCM.
This is the News 8 Daily 8 podcast, a Wish TV News 8 update on demand. For even more, on demand and on the go, connect with Wish TV on Facebook at wishtv.com and on the free Wish TV mobile app. Thank you for listening, and be sure to like, subscribe, and follow this podcast for updates every weekday morning on the All Indiana Podcast Network and wherever you get your podcast.